Hi, my name is Mike Lee.G, and today I have another video for you. So we're gonna keep on talking about truth and lies and see if that can help anyone get closer to their true self, not the lying self. So first let's start out with truth is the hidden alpha. So what are lies? In the New Testament, the word truth actually is made up of two Greek words, which is hidden alpha. Here's the hint. Truth equals God and God's children. They are born of truth. Lies equals the devil and their children. Is that starting to make any sense right now? The one thing that the truth does give you is it gives you a foundation. You can, when you're standing on the truth, you have a foundation. When you're standing on a lie, there's no foundation on a lie. There's no foundation. That's why the Bible also talks about, build your house on a rock. The rock being truth, instead of building it on sand. Why sand? Because sand is probability. You can't build it on probability. You have to build it on a rock. As we get closer to the truth, and we like the truth, and we're part of the truth, we're manifesting the truth in us. We know that we are God's children. Now, there's plenty of people that are going to tell you all these stories, they're going to witness to you what happened to me, how the light shined upon me, and then the person's lying through their teeth all the time. They did not. They're not part of God. The evidence or the fruit of the Spirit of oneself. If you're of God, you're going to want to be in the truth. Now, the old man believed the lies, and then once they're saved or brought into the light of the truth, they have a new identity. In the Bible, it talks about Saul. Saul was relative. He's a Benjamin. Now, it's interesting that he's Benjamin, because Benjamin is the only son of Israel. The only true son of Israel is Benjamin. Because when God changed Jacob's name to Israel, then after that is when he had the son Benjamin. All the rest of the children, or the other 11, were born to Jacob, not to Israel. God changed his name. But we still call them the 12 children of Israel. Saul is also relative of the first king of Israel. Saul was the democracy chose Saul. That's what God doesn't like, democracy. Back in the Old Testament. In the New Testament, this Saul, again a Benjamite, after meeting with Jesus, his name was changed to Paul. So Saul was a Hebrew name, and then he has a Greek name. When he went from Saul to Paul, the very identity of the person changes. When you leave lies and you go to truth, you become a different person. Your friends will be different. Everything that you would value, your value system changes. And I'm going to come back to this page, but before I go back to this page, let me go to this side for a second. When you're in the lies, you have to serve mammon. Mammon is money. And you've heard in the Bible before that the love of money is a root to all evil. And truth, God, you see, when you're in truth, you're serving God. You can't serve God and mammon, truth and lies. You can't make the money the God. Now, what happens is if you are in lies, you got lies everywhere. A weird thing happens to you. If you're in the inflated ego self, you're up here and you're in the lies, what happens is you never have enough money. You can have millions of dollars in the bank and you still don't have enough because it can never be satisfied. Your eyes are never satisfied. So they need to have more consumption. When you're in this state, a lot of times is you don't no money. And all you think about is money. You think about, and you're full. You're full because all the people you're talking to is talking about how you don't have money. So you still have the other side of the love of money because you keep talking about it. When we are in the lies, it's like if you're not in the truth, or if you're not part of the truth, you will be a slave to the lies. Slave to the lies. And one of the best lies is that, money's going to buy you happiness. I mean, granted, you could definitely live comfortably with the money. However, comfortably and you're not in your body and you can't even enjoy it, I don't know. I don't think that's, I don't think that's going to be really what you want. Now, I'm saying this too from experience because a lot of my customers are exceedingly wealthy. I mean, ridiculous wealthy. The kind of wealthy that you see in the movies. That like Bentleys, all that stuff, and the dysfunction around them because everybody is lying to them, building up their head so that they can get money from them. If you're in the truth, or you went from lies to the truth, you're going to sense a new identity. You're going to sense that your old friends are going to be gone because they can't connect with you anymore like they used to. You might have to go through the desert for a little while, kind of by yourself, because then you're going to realize a lot of those people that you thought were your friends really weren't your friends. Because the friends of lies keep you in that prison. If you're in the lies, your acquaintances keep you there. Your significant other is like your prison taskmaster. Yeah. You're in a relationship with somebody, and they'll be your counterbalance of your lies. When you come into the truth, they might not like you anymore, and you might not like them anymore. Somebody's got to go. And as you get to the truth, a weird thing happens. And I said this before, and again, sometimes I'm a little bit redundant in these videos because don't know when it's going to click in your life. Don't know. And maybe you won't go back 20 videos to see that point. It's a recurring point, and it can manifest in many ways. That the old person is tied and weighted by their lies. Okay, let's talk about the enablers again, because that's a good place to start. When the enablers lie to someone, in the feminine, what the woman does in the feminine is she gives her hands or her will in place of the heart. She gives her will, so she has these two hands and they try and hold the other person's head. That's your enabler. They want to hold that head. And when the narcissist or the psychopath senses this, even though even this narcissist is using the enabler, when they feel that the enabler is starting to put talons on them or rubber bands, they do violence to the enabler to kind of push away. Yeah, they do violence to push away from the enabler. As the enabler is lying to maintain this relationship, they're weighted with rubber bands pulling them down further. When this person finally reveals the truth or comes into the truth, they're gonna sense that now their head popped out, and they're gonna feel euphoria. Euphoria. This euphoria is evidence that lies carry lots of mass. Lies give mass. If you're taking them in, if you're giving them out, then you're giving your mass to somebody else. You're giving your mass, your sin, to somebody else. That's why the narcissist, it looks like they're floating away, or the psychopath looks like they're floating away all the time. They don't get entangled in the person. That's why they could say how a narcissist or psychopath has no emotion, because the emotion is in the torso. So if they're severed or severing from their torso, no emotion, no mass. The enabler has mass, tremendous. Even the body shapes like that. Like you could see men with no necks. So let's see, I'll draw. Like there's no neck. The Hulk. I don't know who drew the Hulk, but they drew the Hulk perfectly. When the Hulk also perspires because he's boiling. I don't know how they figured this out. And the funny thing is, sometimes the imaginations of, like, let's say that they make something actually has truth in them. When you're in the masochist self where you have no neck like that, and you have no voice. When you're coming into the truth, when this body type gets into the truth, the man's head actually gets a little higher, and then they finally get a neck. Energy shapes matter. If you have a baby and you're screaming at the baby between birth, before birth, and 6 months old, what you're doing is you're going to twist the body of the baby as it gets older, because the body of the baby has no defense mechanism to stop the screaming. So it kind of blinks out, and that blinking out and contorting of the body is where you get schizophrenia. I don't know how to spell that. It's schizophrenia or schizoid. Their bodies actually grow up deformed. Like one hand is bigger than the other, one foot's bigger than the other, the spine is crooked. Energy shapes matter. So in the developmental stages, if you don't get the right energy, you're going to carry that the rest of your life. And a lot of times we're brought up with lies. And that lie or lies is an energy, and it shapes us. That's why when we come to the truth, we are brought into the truth. These videos are not for everybody. If you're here watching these videos and they click with you, then you're of the truth and you're of God. Because anybody else would think this is foolish. What do you mean, tell the truth? What are you talking about? Again, truth is also faith. You want to see faith? Tell the truth. Because when you tell the truth, that means that you're not trying to control the future reality. It's going to happen to you. When you lie, you want to control reality. And who did that? The devil. When did that happen? Garden of Eden. Devil tried to control reality so that the devil was in control. The first child of the devil is Cain. And his father is the father of lies. And a manslayer. You can read that in John 8. John 8 and Matthew 23. It'll tell you who the devil is. And the children of the devil. The children of the devil are lies. And look at what's happening now with the news. Like I said in my other video, you put on one channel, they tell you one narrative. You put on another channel, they put on the next a different narrative. They're lying. They're telling you now that because Russia invaded Ukraine, that Russia's at fault. They'll show you a tank running over somebody, and everybody's like crying these big tears for that person run over in a tank, but they don't tell you that in the last 8 years, 13,000 Russians in Ukraine territory were killed by the Ukrainian militia. What happened to these 13,000? Why wasn't this in your Western news? But one person running over a tank and now everybody's crying. It's unfortunate. War sucks. But they're not telling you the truth. The corporation does not want to tell you the truth. The corporations that deal with your food, for them to make an extra penny, and you eat their food all the time, for them to save that penny, they have no problem for you to lose 3 years of your life. They got no problem to save an extra penny. This is what lies kill. In the United States, you have all this big thing with emissions for the cars. Well, they're taking the wrong thing out. Every tailpipe of every car with the emissions creates acid, sulfuric acid. Did you know that? Your car creates sulfuric acid. When they go for the emission, they go for the wrong thing. There's papers written about that, but there's good money in this. If you're going to serve money, you have to lie. And if you are lying, then you're doing the devil's work. And you're their children. If you tell me, what am I going to do because I'm doing this, how can I stop? Well, create the environment to stop. The environment to stop from lies is to put yourself more into an environment of truth. And it'll happen naturally. You'll flow into it. As you come more into truth, the job or work you were doing that was bad for you will be taken away. And if you hold on tight, it might be taken away in a bad way. As you come to truth, all things will work for God's good purpose for you. But you can't see it all the time. In fact, if you can see it, that's a blessing. If you could see the manifestation of some of the bad things that happened in your life was to bring you to a better good, in hindsight, then your perspective could have changed. You don't know what yesterday's turmoil can be for tomorrow's well-being or good. I had dealt with plenty of bad situations with bad partnerships, bad people, many years. I felt like I was that lamb getting slaughtered all the time because I was an idiot hooking up with these morons. And in hindsight, can see my enabling perspective or my psychopathic perspective that caused me the grief. So that today, with that experience, and God brought me into the truth, I can reconcile the lies from the past. And now help other people with it. Expand on it, that there is better. There's no that you when one of the disciples said to Jesus, "Where are we gonna go? You have the words for eternal life." Truth is the words of eternal life. You can't have a life in the lies. They want you to think you can. When they show you that person with the, Lamborghini driving, they show you that person with the big smile on their face. That person, believe it, is miserable. Believe it, everybody's got problems. Everybody's got problems. The difference is that when you're in the truth, you will have a peace that cannot be defined. Like, there's a sense of peace. You can go to sleep and sleep good. Because you see, one of the reasons why people can't sleep is that when sleep, okay, you have day, night. The day is masculine, the night is feminine. When you can't sleep, you're not trusting the feminine part of your body. Because you want to be in control. So what happens is, so you don't sleep, your head is filled with information all the time because you're trying to hold the information here when you're supposed to sleep, and it goes into the feminine, and then you have the opening to the infinity. When you look up at night in the stars, you could see infinity. When you look up during the day, you could see infinity. But you can't take your emotions, thoughts, and dump it into the sky. It don't go there. It has to go through the feminine, and then it gets into infinity. And then the feminine feeds you with peace and love. So where's the first truth? Where do we begin? Well, let's see. First words in the Bible that God said is, "Let there be light," or "let light be." Light is also truth. And that light can be inside you as well, on a micro level. And when God seeth the light, he said it's good. God is the first observer. God is the first observer. And that particular original Hebrew word for God is Elohim. This is a plural. This is the family of God. So the family of God seeth the light, and it's good. If you're part of the family of God and you see the light of truth, then you're going to say it's good. God declares the end from the beginning. Let light be. The earth existed void and darkness. Your earth, yourself, was existing void and darkness because you had lies. As you come to the truth, you come to the light. God sees the light and is good. Lies, darkness, bad. Good, evil. The lies are going to bring you into evil. And nobody's saying that you're going to go kill somebody's cat and do it overtly also. The evil you're going to be doing to yourself. Not just outwardly, but inwardly. In the masculine, the head becomes flies away, not connected to the body. In the feminine, the head goes into the body. This will get more punishment. This will fade away. These videos are intended to speak to those of the truth, or the people that are of the truth that don't know it yet, that are still a slave to the lies. The Bible also talks about the Elohim, another place, I don't know where it is now, but I'll probably include it below, where it says, "Wake up, O God." That God is the Elohim. As you wake up, the Elohim of God, you're going to be in truth. And then you're going to have righteous judgment against the lies and the liars. God needs you to have righteous judgment upon liars, because we're in the truth. So what does that mean? When you know someone's lying to you, you say no. When someone's forcing you to do something that it doesn't feel good inside you, don't do it. Say no. When you need to say no to someone, you say it. You get that no out of your body. Because when you start getting that no out of your body, then your head will form where it's supposed to be, not underneath. This is also covered in my developmental videos. This is covered in truth videos, on psychopath videos, narcissist videos. You can't cheat this. If you're the truth, then you're part of the hidden alpha. That's God. If you're part of the lies, then you're part of the devil. Lies is just promoting more evil inside your body, whether you're overtly doing it as a narcissist or enabling a relationship. And I'm saying a relationship because that's the first place it starts, with your nearest people. I'm not saying you're going to go hack somebody up. That's those are the super extreme. We're talking about that super extreme started out from a small point. In fact, there was a joke not a joke. It's one of those sayings that the guy was in prison, and before they killed him, they asked him, what are your last requests? And he goes, I want to kiss my mother's tongue. So when they brought his mother, he bit the tongue off and spit it out. So then the police asked him, why'd you do that? And he said, because that tongue never told me not to lie. That tongue never told me not to steal. That tongue never told me to stop when I was doing something wrong. It was never correcting the child. So then the guy said, she didn't